What if everything you believe about human sexuality and gender is just a surface story?
What if, deep in our evolutionary past, we were not simply male or female, but beings of profound wholeness, hermaphrodites embodying both at once?
Throughout history, myths and legends have whispered of divine beings embodying both genders. Hermaphroditus, the mythic Greek figure who was born from Hermes and Aphrodite, representing perfect unity of masculine and feminine. In Hindu tradition, Ardhanarishvara, a composite deity blending Shiva and Parvati, symbolizes the inseparable harmony of divine masculine and feminine principles. These archetypes are more than myth, they reflect deep, intuitive truths about human origins.
Biology supports this idea. All human embryonic development begins as a primitive, undifferentiated state. In early stages, our bodies are essentially a blank canvas. No gender, no labels, just potential. For example, nipples form before sex differentiation occurs. Why? Because at that point, all embryos follow a shared developmental plan, a reminder that our biological roots are fundamentally united. Even today, about 1 in 2,000 babies are born with intersex traits, natural variations where sex characteristics don't fit binary definitions. These are living evidence that our species was never strictly binary in its origin. Genetic research reveals that sex in humans is governed by a complex interplay of chromosomes, hormones, and gene expression, far more fluid and varied than the binary model suggests. Conditions like androgen insensitivity syndrome or congenital adrenal hyperplasia demonstrate how flexible sex development can be. These aren't errors, they're echoes of a biological past where fluidity was the norm. Across thousands of years, our ancestors created art that captures this understanding. Figurines emphasizing fertility and ambiguity, symbols of multiplicity. Some of the earliest images depict beings with both masculine and feminine features, perhaps an acknowledgement that human wholeness predates societal divisions.
Many cultures venerate dual gender or gender transforming figures, recognizing that human identity is more complex than simple categories. The Two-Spirit people of indigenous American cultures, for instance, embody roles that transcend binary gender roles, celebrating the fluidity that ancient societies often revered. While direct fossil evidence of hermaphroditic humans is scarce, soft tissues don't fossilize, speculative theories suggest that early reproductive strategies favored traits that encourage diversity, adaptability, and resilience. Could it be that being inherently flexible in gender or reproductive roles gave our ancestors an evolutionary advantage? Philosophers like Plato proposed that our earliest form was whole and complete, a perfect unity of opposites. In his myth of primal beings, humans were originally double. They were split apart, seeking reunion, symbolizing the innate longing for wholeness.
Many spiritual traditions echo this notion. The universe itself is a harmonious balance of dual principles, light and dark, masculine and feminine, spirit and matter. Today, our scientific understanding continues to support the idea of a broad spectrum of gender. Transgender and intersex experiences are not modern inventions. They are living evidence of an ancient, natural variability. Gender identities and sexual orientations that challenge simplistic labels are whispers from our ancient past, echoes of a primordial human condition where the boundaries between masculine and feminine were fluid, interconnected, and whole. Far from anomalies, these experiences are threads woven into the very fabric of our evolutionary tapestry. They are echoes of a time when human beings embodied both roles, powerful symbols of natural wholeness, long before societal structures imposed rigid binaries. Homosexuality, gender fluidity, transgender identities, they aren't just social constructs, they are manifestations of our primordial potential, remnants of a time when gender was not a fixed point but a flowing spectrum. What if all this human variation, our sexuality, our gender identities, are not deviations but reflections of a shared ancient truth? That at the core of human existence, we are more than halves. We are full, complex, interconnected wholes.
Besides the presence of nipples in males, there are several biological, embryological, and genetic indications that support the theory that early humans, or their ancestors, may have been hermaphroditic or possessed a more fluid conception of sex. Here are some key points: embryonic development of sexual organs, undifferentiated gonads. In human embryology, all fetuses start with undifferentiated gonads, initially capable of developing into either testes or ovaries. By potential structures, early in development, reproductive tissues, Wolffian and Müllerian ducts are initially present in both sexes, suggesting a common origin. Potential for dual traits, in some cases genetic or hormonal variations, can lead to development of both ovarian and testicular tissue in the same individual, supporting a shared embryonic foundation that hints at a hermaphroditic past. Intersex conditions. Natural variations, conditions like persistent Müllerian duct syndrome, androgen insensitivity syndrome, Turner syndrome, and other intersex variations demonstrate that human sex development is not strictly binary. Biological spectrum. These naturally occurring variations suggest that various intermediate forms have existed throughout evolutionary history, reflecting a more fluid or hermaphroditic origin. Genetic evidence. Multiple sex determining genes. Studies have identified numerous genes involved in sex determination, like SRY-RS-RY-SOX9. Variations or mutations in these can produce individuals with mixed or ambiguous sexual characteristics. Evolutionary conservation. Some genes related to sex development are conserved across many species, including hermaphroditic organisms like snails, worms, and fish, emphasizing that the versatility of sexual traits is a fundamental biological feature, not unique to humans.
Reproductive strategies in evolution. Hermaphroditic species. Many early and modern organisms are hermaphroditic, capable of self-fertilization or cross-fertilization, suggesting that the earliest stages of life on Earth involved multi-gendered reproductive capacity. Evolutionary advantage. A species with flexible reproductive roles could adapt better to environmental challenges, promoting survival. It's plausible that early human ancestors retained some of these traits in genetic or developmental pathways. Vestigial and atavistic traits. Certain traits in humans may be remnants of a shared, more flexible evolutionary past, clitoral and penile structures. The development of external genitalia in humans shows a common primitive origin, both developed from the same embryonic tissue. Potential for hidden reproductive tissues. Some intersex individuals develop gonads or tissues that could be considered double or ambiguous, echoing a hermaphroditic origin.
Summary. In essence, the biological evidence, embryonic development pathways, the variability of sex traits, genetic mechanisms, and the existence of intersex conditions supports the idea that human sex formation is complex and non-binary. These factors could be viewed as living echoes of our ancestral hermaphroditic state, where the differentiation into distinct genders was a gradual evolutionary process rather than a fixed starting point. This is a call to reimagine human origins. Beyond the binary, beyond societal labels, lies a deep, unbridgeable unity. We come from a lineage that once embodied wholeness. Our diversity today? It's a living expression, an inheritance from an ancient, hermaphroditic age. The story of humanity isn't only about division. It's about integration, about rediscovering the embedded truth that our essence is harmony, that we are and always have been whole. The future calls us not to reject our diversity, but to embrace it as a return and awakening to our primal unity. Because at the deepest level, we are more than just separate identities. We are echoes of a time when the universe was whole and human beings embodied complete unity. Explore the roots of who we are. Embrace the spectrum of human existence. Reclaim our ancient primal wholeness.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future ideas that challenge us to think outside the box. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, and don't forget to always maintain that curiosity that drives progress. Also, explore even more fascinating content on our channel. From life-changing tips and cutting-edge technology, to the mysteries of spirituality, travel to various countries, delicious recipes, health hacks, and language learning, there's something here to spark your curiosity and elevate your life. Dive in and discover a world of knowledge awaits us.